Yes, that is how the news broke. Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull went on TikTok and released a video. An unsurprising move for Indiana, who sent her a restricted qualifying offer earlier this week. It's being reported that multiple teams went after Lexi Hull, multiple teams talked to Lexi Hull, but at the end of the day, she wasn't leaving Caitlin Clark, and it is on a multi-year.
That TikTok announcement just confirmed what Indiana's been working on behind the scenes for weeks. Lexi Hull is staying with the Fever on a multi-year deal, and according to multiple reports, she had offers from other teams, real offers, teams that could have paid her more given her bigger roles. But she turned them all down. Why? Because she's not leaving Caitlin Clark. And that decision tells you everything about where this franchise is headed right now.
If Sophie Cunningham comes back, all of the talk, all of the chatter, oh, how are you going to pay everybody? How are you going to be able to pay everybody? All that for nothing. They found a way. They found a way to bring back the big three, bring back Lexi, bring back Sophie, and Monique Billings is now on her way as well. Monique Billings to sign with the Indiana Fever per Tony East.
Look at that comment thread. Sophie Cunningham jumping into Caitlin and Lexi's TikTok with the no invite is crazy. That's not just friendly banter between players. That's Sophie laying breadcrumbs for Indiana fans. She's hinting at something, and if you've been following the Fever's free agency moves, you know exactly what she's suggesting. The question isn't if Sophie's coming back. The question is, how did Indiana manage to keep everyone when the salary cap should have made this impossible?
Can't take for granted. Is this our starting power forward? Me, personally, I hope not. Guilty, sorry. There's only so much cheerleading I can do. I hope not. I hope there's another move on the horizon. As Azura Stevens, she signed with Chicago. News is coming out, Dearica Hamby, she's going back to LA. Shakira Austin, she's talking to Dallas. Jessica Shepard, she went to Dallas.
Monique Billings to Indiana, confirmed by Tony East, confirmed by multiple sources. Now here's what makes this interesting. Billings played with Caitlin during the unrivaled tournament. She led the entire roster in assists received from Clark. Not close either. She knows how to set screens, she knows how to roll to the basket, and most importantly, she can actually finish around the rim. In the WNBA, that's not something you take for granted. A lot of bigs can't convert those easy looks. Billings can. But let's address the elephant in the room. Is this your starting power forward?
I just wish that this isn't our big splash. That, as a Yankees fan, I want my teams to go all out and try to win. As an Eagles fan, I want my teams to go all out and try to win. This is a nice piece off the bench. But personally, as a starting piece, I'm not going to do jumping jacks just yet. Kelsey Mitchell and Monique Billings played together in They played together in Unrivaled. Kelsey Mitchell said Monique Billings gave her a huge confidence boost in the Hive BC huddle right before Kelsey Mitchell scored the game-winning basket.
There's the honest take. Monique Billings as a backup five, someone who fills in and gives you solid minutes off the bench, perfectly fine. Smart signing, but as your starting power forward on a team that's trying to compete for a championship, that's where the concern comes in. Because while Indiana's been locking up their core, Azura Stevens just signed a 3-year deal with Chicago. Stevens averaged 12.8 points, 8 rebounds, and shot 38% from 3 last season with the Sparks. She finished second in Most Improved Player voting. That's the caliber of player Indiana needed to target. And according to some reports, the Fever didn't even make a play for her.
Percent from 3, 8 rebounds per game, and 2.1 assists, finishing second in Most Improved Player voting. I wanted Azura Stevens, as you guys know. That's not happening. It's some people are saying the Indiana Fever didn't even go after her. If the Indiana Fever didn't even go after her, then that's malpractice. I gotta be honest. If the Indiana Fever didn't even make a play for Azura Stevens, that's malpractice. If they miss out on Stevens and they miss out on Alana Smith.
Chicago's not done either. They traded a first-round pick to bring back J.C. Sheldon. That's Caitlin's college rival, the defensive pest who's made a career out of getting under Clark's skin. 35% from three, lockdown perimeter defense, and now she's running with Camila Cardoso, Azura Stevens, and potentially Courtney Vandersloot if the rumors are true. They're also targeting Skylar Diggins-Smith, and they'll have the number 3 pick in the draft to grab Sonia Floget-Johnson. Look at those two rosters side by side. Indiana brought back their core and added Monique Billings. Chicago rebuilt their entire foundation with multiple all-star level additions. That's the gap Indiana needs to close.
Arch nemesis, her enemy from all the way in college, J.C. Sheldon, she's a pest on defense. She seems to be one of those players you hate if she's not on your team, but if she's on your team, you'll be like, yeah, I kind of like that. Shooting 35% from three. A first-round pick is a hefty price to pay for J.C. Sheldon, but I'm assuming the Chicago Sky aren't done with moves. They wouldn't be expecting that first-round pick to be anything special. If they thought it was going to be something special, I don't think they would have traded that first-round pick. They think that's going to be a late, right? They're going to have the 26 season.
But here's what Indiana did accomplish. They kept Caitlin Clark locked in for the long term. They brought back Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, their big three. They retained Lexi Hall on a multi-year deal despite multiple teams pursuing her. Sophie Cunningham is almost certainly returning based on that social media interaction. And they added a veteran big in Monique Billings who has chemistry with both Clark and Mitchell from their time playing together. That's not nothing. The core that took Indiana from lottery team to playoff contender in one season is staying together. They're building continuity while other teams are starting from scratch.
You put up the two records from this upcoming season and next season, it's not going to be a top pick. So we'll see as more news begins to break. Hopefully, we get news of Sophie Cunningham sometime soon. But we shall see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, hype the video, and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. See you next time, and as always, take it easy.
So here's the real question facing Indiana's front office right now. Are they done? Is Monique Billings the big splash, or is there another move coming? Because Alana Smith is still available. She's a stretch 4 who can space the floor and protect the rim. Dearica Hamby reportedly went back to LA, but there are other veteran forwards still on the market. Indiana has the cap flexibility to make one more significant addition if they want to. The Fever proved last season they can compete with their core. Caitlin Clark is the best passer in the league. Kelsey Mitchell is an elite scorer, and Aaliyah Boston anchors the paint. But to beat teams like New York, Minnesota, and now this retooled Chicago roster, they need more firepower at the 4. Monique Billings gives them depth. What they're missing is a starting caliber power forward who can stretch the floor and create mismatches. And if they don't add that piece, they're going to spend next season running into the same problem they faced in the playoffs. Not enough scoring options when the defense locks in on Clark and Mitchell, not enough versatility at the forward positions to exploit matchups, not enough three-point shooting to punish teams that pack the paint. Think about what happened in that playoff series against Connecticut. The Sun dared Indiana's role players to beat them. They focused all their defensive attention on Caitlin and Kelsey, and the supporting cast couldn't make them pay. Monique Billings isn't going to change that dynamic. She's a solid role player, but she's not the kind of player who forces defenses to adjust their entire scheme. This is where the front office has to decide what kind of team they want to be. Are they content with being a playoff team that competes but falls short? Or are they trying to build a championship contender? Because right now, Chicago made the bigger moves. New York still has their core intact. Minnesota is retooling. Las Vegas is always dangerous. Indiana needs to match that ambition. The good news is they have time. Free agency is still ongoing, trades are still possible, and the draft is coming up. But the longer they wait, the fewer options remain available. Azura Stevens is gone. Dearica Hamby is gone. The top-tier free agents are signing quickly, and Indiana can't afford to miss out on everyone. Here's what makes this particularly frustrating for Fever fans. This team has the foundation. They have the superstar in Caitlin Clark. They have the scoring guard in Kelsey Mitchell. They have the defensive anchor in Aaliyah Boston. That's a legitimate big three that can compete with anyone in the league. But championship teams need more than 3 stars. They need depth, they need versatility, and they need players who can step up when the moment demands it. Monique Billings can be part of that equation, but she can't be the entire answer. Indiana needs to swing for the fences on at least one more significant addition, whether that's through free agency, a trade, or maximizing their draft capital. They need to find a way to add another impact player to this roster. So the question for Indiana's front office is simple. Are you building to compete, or are you building to win? Because right now, it looks like you're doing the former when your fans are demanding the latter. Caitlin Clark didn't come to Indiana to be a perennial playoff team. She came to win championships. Kelsey Mitchell has been loyal to this franchise for years, and she deserves a roster that can actually contend. Aaliyah Boston is one of the best young centers in the league, and her window is right now. Don't waste it by settling for solid role players when you could be adding difference makers. The core is locked in, the foundation is set. Now finish the job and give this team the pieces they need to actually compete for a title. Because if you don't, and Chicago or New York or Minnesota ends up hoisting the championship trophy next season, Fever fans are going to remember that you had the chance to go all in and chose to play it safe instead. What do you think Indiana should do? Is Monique Billings enough, or do they need to make another move? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe, because free agency is just getting started and we're going to be covering every major move as it happens.